shortly. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you are watching this, and also depending on the time you are anywhere in the world, right? So, we are going to be diving in straight into our conversation. But before then, just give me a minute. Let me log in on two devices so that can be able to admit other people as well. Because there's usually a tendency that um, people will join during the call, and I don't want that to delay us in any way whatsoever. So I can be admitting them at this point. Okay. So just give me a minute. Okay, great. I've been able to get that done. All right. So for those of us that are very used to logging in on multiple devices, it just helps to make things easy. It also gives me the kind of necessary feedback so that I can act accordingly. All right. So let me share my screen. So before we kick off, I want us to use the chat to on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, let me start with that. How would you say the year has been so far? So your 1 is the lowest, your 10 is the highest. So let me test the temperature in the room. So let's use the chart. My eyes are on the chart right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say the year has been for you so far? What would you say the year has been for you so far? I would like us to start using the charts. Okay, so a 6. Okay, thank you, Mr. Felix. All right, so Antonia say a 4. Oh wow, really? Okay, let's keep it coming, people. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. On a scale of 1 to 10, I need to measure the temperature in the room. How would you say your year has been so far? 1 being the lowest. And okay, Oliver says a 6. Wow. Okay, amazing. Let's keep it coming. Now, for those of us that have responded already, uh, why would you give yourself that score? So take, for example, if you give yourself a 6, what's your reason for saying a 6? If you give yourself a 4, what's your reason for saying a 4? I think I would just like to have an idea, because that's the whole essence of the reason why we are here. We are here to reset. We are here to refocus. We are here to reignite. And so one of the reasons why at the end of the year, people, feel that, oh, wow, I've spent a lot of time and the whole year is like, it's not what it should be, right? Is because we just set the goal for the entire year. We don't check in how we're doing half year, just like we're about to do right now. We don't usually check how we are doing quarterly. We don't usually check how we are doing monthly. We don't usually check in how we are doing weekly, right? Because our year is a sum of the entire week, the entire month, the entire half year, and the entire year that we've spent so far. So I can see a response in the chat. Okay, okay. Ihomo says that got to 6 and dropped to 3. Wow, amazing. Interesting. Okay, Antonia says, I say a 4 because I feel that the year is just starting for me effectively. For the goals I've set for myself. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. They usually say that the best time to plant was yesterday. The second best time is today. Amazing. So, Felix, why did you say a 6? Olivet, why did you say a 6? So, I am always really excited, looking forward to, you know, you giving yourself a score. There must have been a success criteria Most of us on this call are educationists, and we know there must have been like a rubrics that we used to say, okay, I'm going to make it so. Okay, so let's take a look. Oliver says that a 6 because lines fell in pleasant places a lot. Wow, I love this. And I was availed a lot of unprecedented opportunities that enabled my vision to to become actualized easily. So you shouldn't give yourself a 6 then. You should give yourself like an 8 because this is sounding like an excellent report, right? And that's super, super amazing. So, would you like to know how my own year has been? If you like to know, I want you to type in a yes, a yes, a yes, a yes. If you would like to know, I want you to. Okay, Antonia. Antonia is really curious. Okay, so I would say, okay, Oliver says, I didn't want to go overboard. That's why I said 6. But from your uh, qualitative analysis, right, it sounded like an 8. Okay, so Felix says a 6 because a lot has been achieved. However, I still have a lot to get done. Interesting. Okay, so I love this opening because it just gives us like the right perspective. So if you're just joining in, the quiz says, how has it been year for you so far? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And why? Why did you give yourself that score? So because you're wondering, what are we doing? Okay, so Oliver says you are very insightful, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so for me, my year has been like an 8. Sincerely, an 8 because it's been like I've lived like 5 years in a year. And so for those of us that follow me very closely on social media, you need to go and check my my Facebook and Instagram and all of that. I actually really, really had to reward myself with a mid-year vacation. And I tell you the truth, it was really, really experiential and soothing for me. So let's dive straight into our conversation. So I do not usually want to assume that everyone on the call know who I am. So for those of us that maybe are getting to know me for the first time, or for those of us that have even known me, but we have not really known me closely. So I'm a certified global seasoned education consultant. I'm a certified leadership coach and mentor. So right now, counting, I've had over 1,000 plus mentees. I mean, when I say mentees, structurally, that I've gone through my leadership mentorship, and I've had close to about 70 people that I've been able to help transition successfully from being an educator into becoming an education consultant. So I'm also a mentor with the MasterCard Foundation, Teach for Nigeria, Tony Lumelu Foundation, as well as Landmark Foundation for Women. I'm the founder and executive consultant at Costas Transformational Academy, where I'm privileged to serve as a business leader. Okay. And of course, I have my doctorate in educational planning and management from Perth University in the United States of America. And I'm also a certified business consultant from the School of Consulting in the UK. I have my certificate in public leadership and policy from the School of Politics, Policy and Governance. This is a school that was established by the former minister, sorry, of education. That's the person of Dr. Obi Ekwesili. And I'm a fellow at the Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Coaching Nigeria. Also a fellow at the International Management Consultant and the Pan-African Consultants Association. I'm the partnership lead with Equip Nigeria, which is on C. Maxwell Foundation. So what I'm expected to do is to seek for partnership, sponsorship, and leverage the curriculum that John C. Maxwell has provided for us to span across the 33 states in Nigeria. I'm in respect of several awards, so I just have to put that in the sentence because I mean my awards are, I still got like one this week, my contribution to leadership development for girls. And I mean that was the latest one I just got. That was on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday this week. And aside of that, I have several awards. And of course, I'm a wife and a mother of two young astonishing leaders. And it's my pleasure to welcome you on board this beautiful evening. All right. So let's move on. So yes, you know, I'm going to be starting on the fact that vision without execution is hallucination. And one of the things that helps us to be able to bring our vision to the fore is how we are able to break them down. Thomas Edison was the person that gave this quote, and in Africa today, 80% of high potential individuals and ventures stalled by mid-year. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to have this webinar, because there's just this at the beginning of the year for those that believe in, what do we call it now, New Year resolutions, for those that believe in, everybody's charged at the beginning of the year, like, there is, we are the best thing that has happened after sliced bread. And then by the time we begin to get to the middle of the year, or by the end of the first quarter, or, there's just this drop. To sustain and to retain the momentum is quite is a lot, and a lot of people find it very tough. So um these statistics, when I got to know about it, I was like, wow. And really, this is due to loss of focus, not lack of vision. So oftentimes we all have a picture of the future that we want to feature in. Somebody defined vision as, having a picture for the future. And so what we then discover is that, you know, that focus, we just get distracted more than ever before. Distraction is a major issue for us in this dispensation, because we have so many things distracting us. Okay, and this statistics was carried out to by the African Development Bank, and so it's time for us to reset, refocus, and reignite. Now, let me take us through 3 execution traps that usually block our breakthrough. Number one is over planning, underdoing. So, how do we kind of mitigate against this? You want to simplify your action plan into like a 90-day sprint to reignite your progress. So, 90-day sprint covers for just about a quarter thereabout. Okay. And you want to be able to, okay, categorically put your goals and your tasks into blocks of like a 90-day sprint. And then there's always one thing I always tell my mentees, that people that would love to care to know, is that smart goals is not enough. Your goals have to be smarter. The E standing for evaluatable and the R standing for reward. Now, this is very important, because if you don't tend to evaluate and you are just, just keep up with the momentum. So what I did for us at the beginning of this conversation is for us to actually evaluate. And then you need to also think of how you reward yourself. Now, what the reward does for you is that it gives you the fortitude to be able to, go ahead to say, this reward that I'm looking at, I mean, it's something that I don't want to miss. So I'm going to put in my best to get this done. It could be as little as giving yourself time off. It could be as little as, just having to celebrate yourself, or as high as, like I did, taking days off, just to refresh and all of that. So another reason is information overload, where there is what we call the analysis paralysis. So we want to do so many things. Whilst it's important for us to, have that in mind, more importantly, it's better to refocus by choosing one North Star goal and like muting the rest. So, there's this, I don't know how many of us know about that game, that darts game, where you would throw in something and then you are focused on a particular point in the darts, because the more you want to try to just if you are not focused before you throw the dart, what happens is that you're going to miss it. So you want to, in the midst of your several goals, you want to prioritize and say, what is that one goal that is like a 20% that will give me an 80% on every other thing that I do? So it's called the Pareto principle. There we have the lone wolf syndrome. Okay, you want to reset your approach by surrounding yourself with consistent accountability. That is very, very key. And, I have something that I'm going to be offering us regarding accountability towards, in the course of this program. And we also have someone in the room already that is going to be sharing our experience. So at this point, I'm going to be calling on Antonia. So Antonia is one of the people that at leverage on the camp, which is called the Core Skills Accountability Mentoring Program, which we had the first cohort, the second cohort is on, and then the third cohort you're starting July 1st. So I would like Antonia to mute the mic if possible. You can see her beautiful face and tell us about the experience that she had being a campite. So we call ourselves a campite because it's just a closer inner circle of people that I work with to provide accountability, support, and most importantly, a lot of us don't actually even know how to set goals in the first place that are very effective. We don't also know how to be able to break down these goals into sizable bits. A lot of us also struggle with having to reach because I mean there are 10,001 things that we are chasing at the same time. But however, one of the things that it's a very, very important rule is that the more you learn, the more you earn in the long term. So Antonia, I hope you're ready for me. Um, it's your turn to speak.
Hello everyone. Good evening. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, we can. You're looking gorgeous. So Antonia is also rewarding herself with a dinner this evening. Hey, God, I beg you. Sis, please take me along. God, I beg. All right, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tony. First thing I would like to let everyone on this call know that I have known Dr. Tony for 2 years, but we have only met once.
Do you have
We
earpiece
can,
or something? You're sounding a bit far.
okay, let me do something. Just give me a minute.
Yes, because I know that your voice is always usually stronger and much more.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, now we are talking.
Okay, so we've known for 2 years, but we've only met once. You know, they say your network is your net worth. So I had a friend, a colleague, and she just told me about her. Okay, so I bought one of her books from a training I attended, not knowing who the author was. I just saw the title of the books and I said, "Oh, I need this book.
Sorry, which
It's
of
going
the
to help
books?
me."
Which of the books is that?
The one that has to do with leadership skills.
Okay. Okay, is it personal leadership or the school
personal
leadership?
leadership
Okay, personal
personal
leadership.
leadership personal
Okay.
leadership. I knew I needed to develop myself. I was in a position of leadership. I just got into that position and I knew I needed to equip myself with a lot of information on how to manage the community I worked in at the time. So I bought the book and then I think I made a post about the book, and then my friend saw it and said, "I know this person, and this person is my coach." And she was undergoing the consultancy training with Dr. Tui at the time. And I said I wanted to also get him on board. And that's how we just started talking. I reached out to Dr. Tui somehow, but we never met for a whole year that I was communicating with Dr. Tui. We did not meet physically. And then an opportunity came. We met physically for the first time in 2 years once we met. And then, I mean, there was this connection. And I knew that I needed to establish and to hold on to Dr. Toyin to learn more and to gain more from her wealth of experience. So this year or last year in December, I wanted to get on board the consultancy program, but some things happened I couldn't get on. And then she now said, okay, get on this core skills, this accountability, this camp program. And I got in. Now, my experience from that program has been very, very phenomenal. Phenomenal in the sense that it helped me to gain direction. It helped me to gain more focus, to know what I want out of life, to know what I want from my career, to know how to build my career. And from that program, it ran for 6 months, and we didn't even know, before we knew what was happening, 6 months was over. Aside the fact that I gained experience, I gained knowledge, I gained a lot of information, it helped me to really align myself in my chosen career. I learned, I started reading books. I don't like too many words. So it scares me when I see a lot of letters, it scares me. But, I became more disciplined, more committed, and more dedicated, and reason to know why I must read. You must read. So it helps me to also understand that when you set your goals, you just have to follow your goals. Goal setting has also been something that I was really not too. I just said, you set goals you don't accomplish. You set goals you don't. But it helps me to, like, you set the goals, you follow them, you monitor, you keep going back. Even the ones that you did not accomplish, you go back and push them forward and say, you know what, I need to do this. Habits are something that, of course, we all have habits, different habits, but you know that there are habits that can actually make or mar you as a person. So we read the book about habits, and I said, oh, wow, this thing is really, one really. So there were a lot of things that I took away from that program. It helped me to realign my goals. It helped me to reposition myself career-wise. I gained friends. I gained family. Trust me, why I gave myself a 4 was that I said that it's like the year is just beginning for me, because all of the things that I took away from that program is what I am building on, is what I am latching on, and is what I'm using to move. And today, I am far more better than I was in January. So the year is just starting for me, and Dr. Toyin has not left my side. So I gained friends, and the community that I gained from that program is what I am using to propel myself. And everybody is very supportive. When you have a community that is very supportive, the community is very supportive, and I mean, it's a whole lot. I can go on and say the experiences and the gains from that program. So if you have the opportunity to get on the camp program, because one of the things was that we were paired, we were paired. And my body, the person that I was paired with, is a very phenomenal and very intentional person, and is really helping me, and we're supporting each other. Because it's one thing for you to be paired to somebody and then you are not able to hold on. When one is going down, you pull up the other, so it's a whole lot for me, and I'm grateful to God today.
Wow.
The
And
achievements that I am making, the strides that I'm taking, the milestones that I'm taking today is because I participated in that camp program. I would probably still have been groping around, touch this one, come back, touch this one, come back. But today I am focused and I am well realigned. And I want to use this opportunity once again to say
wow.
thank you. Hold on to Dr. Toyin and make sure that you also engage
Yes,
and participate in the camp
yes.
program.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very much.
Antonia. Antonia, can you say something about the camp framework? That was the that was the the anchor. So can you say
The
something about the
camp,
camp
the
framework?
camp framework, when I
Mm.
saw it, when I saw the volume, when I saw the document, I said to myself, where am I going to start? How am I? Can I answer all of these questions? But in your leadership style, you still led that
Mm.
portion of the program, right? You
Yeah,
still led us, and it helped us to really have a mind of reflection. You have to think deep, you have to reflect, you
yeah,
have to be really intentional about
yeah.
everything that you put down on that framework. When I saw it, I said, Jesus, how, when? And for every moment, Dr. Toyi will, she was just going to give you a notification. Have you done this? Are you there? And that
Every week,
is
every
how
Sunday.
Every Sunday, and this is who we call a leader who will not leave you. So you are very intentional. As
Yeah.
at January this year, I wasn't exercising. And when I
Mm.
saw the framework, I saw all of the portions that were there. And like, hey, this is a very serious thing. I cannot write something that I'm not going to do. So
Antonia said, I did not know if I had known now.
yes, if I had known, I would have, so you are also accountable to yourself.
Yes.
Despite the fact that, Dr. Tony is our overall accountability
But
partner,
yeah,
you as a person, you as an individual, you are intentional and you are also accountable for yourself. So anything you're going to put down, if you know you're not going to follow it, you're not going to do it, don't put it down. You
I'm
have to
telling you.
follow everything you have written. Oh my God. Thank you very
Well done,
much.
Antonia. And the beautiful thing is that Antonia has been able to get very beautiful platforms this first half of the year, and I'm also super proud of her. I mean, when she shared the second one with me this morning, so we still had to chat this morning. I was like, "Yes, go girl, go girl, go girl," and like I told them, I still come in. So we always have what is called the alumni community, even after our program. So it's not oh, we are done, no, and then that's just it. And so thank you so much, Antonia, and you look
Thank
so
you.
gorgeous. Please
Doors
take
are
pictures.
opening, opportunities are coming, collaborations here and there,
Yeah,
so it's a good one. Thank you very much.
amazing. Yes, so there is something I plan to do for the fastest finger. So right now the early bird for the next camp program, by the way, it's now 3 months. We did the 6 months initially because I was trying to test run some things, but I've been able to get a good grip of it. So what we are doing, early bird is actually 120,000, but if you can actually pay 50,000 by tomorrow within the next 24 hours, you'll be given opportunity to pay just 100,000 instead of 120,000. So you don't want to miss that opportunity. I would share the flyer on the WhatsApp group once we are done. And by the way, the WhatsApp group is open. You may want to drop in your questions in there as we have conversation. You know why? One of the things is that I discovered that when we talk, questions keep roaming in people's minds, and because you don't have the opportunity to ask the questions during during when the facilitator is speaking, the tendency that you will forget the question when it's time for Q&A is high. So don't wait till when I'm done. You have the WhatsApp group. Just drop your questions in there, and then we are good. So now let's go back into the main forte for today. So from mid-year overwhelm to laser focus plan. Now, the truth is that by middle of the year, oftentimes a lot of us feel stuck or we feel scattered. And then we begin to ask ourselves the question, what exactly have I done this year? Or what exactly is the year all about in the first place? So you are not alone. June is the most common time for goal abandonment. Why? Why do you think June is the most common time for goal abandonment? Can you drop your thoughts? Drop your thoughts in the chats. Why do you think that June is the most common time for goal abandonment? So my eyes are on the chart right now. Why? I need one or two responses. So it's been said that June is the most common time for goal abandonment. Why do you think this statement is true? And if you think that it's not true, you may want to say I don't agree and then give your reason also in the chat. So my eyes are on the chat waiting to read your responses. Okay. So, and the interesting thing is, I mean, June is going to be over in some, yeah, 30 days of September, April, June, and November. In some 9 days to come, June is going to be over. Or anybody wants to talk, you may want to raise your digital hand, and then I'll give you the opportunity to talk. So my webinars are usually very, very interactive because I know that I'm in the room speaking with a lot of intelligent intellectuals and all of that. Okay, can I hear from let me hear from Timmy Tokwe. Timmy Tokwe, what are your thoughts about the month of June? Do you feel June is the most common time for goal abandonment? You may want to unmute your mic. I just want to hear a different voice aside from myself. Okay? Or if Temitope is not available, okay, let me call Felix, my adopted mentee. Felix, what are your thoughts? What do you think about, feeling stuck or shattered and, having to just get to the mid year and you're like, oh, wow. What are your thoughts? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma, for the privilege.
Welcome, sir.
Well, yeah, you have a point. Oftentimes, at the beginning of the year, we are highly enthusiastic about all we intend to achieve in the year. But however, at the course of the year, the months running by, challenges will come, difficulties will surface. One thing or the other, will try our patience, and where there is no perfect system put in place to achieve the goals that have been conceived at the beginning of the year, we tend to be discouraged.
Mm,
And then all we just need to do, we just do is okay. We just let go of the goals and everything. This normal phrase of I can't kill myself. So since it's not working, let me
I
not
cannot
kill
come and
myself.
die.
I just I can't kill myself. I can't come and die. You just let go of everything. So it's yeah. So it is one thing to set the goals. It's another thing to also know that there will be challenges on the way, and as such
Mm,
be able to put systems that will help you mitigate those challenges when they arises. So I
mm.
think that's the major reason why most times by June you would have forgotten what your plan for the year
I
is, and
see.
you are just living as the day comes.
I say, I beg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Felix. So Bernard's hand is up. Before you speak, Mr. Bernard, just getting ready to speak. One of the mistakes we also do is that a lot of us set goals and we go and hide it. Right? If you are on this tip, we set goals in a jotter, or we don't even set it. We don't take time to set our goals and really break it down. If you are on in that WhatsApp, type yes. We just write it something somewhere in one jotter and then we just keep it somewhere. Okay? That's one of the things that also happens. Okay, Bernard, over to you. I can see your hand is raised.
All right, good evening, man. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome,
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I really appreciate that.
welcome, sir.
Based on what you just said now, ma, is where I think I want to pick up my contribution from.
Yeah.
The thing is, from the beginning of the year, we usually set up plans, as in we have these things actually written out, or we have them sometimes in our head. And in
Mm,
the course of the year, okay, this is what I will do, this is what I will do, and this
mm,
is what I will do. So by the time it gets to June, if someone is beginning to say that, oh, you are feeling like you are not on track anymore, what
mm,
I feel the problem is that when those plans were being written out,
mm.
there were no strategic moves attached to it.
Absolutely.
Strategic move, as in, how do you want to execute those plans? So, if you have that in place, you will realize that as the day goes by, as each month begins to um, drive into the next one, you
Yeah.
see that those strategies will be like a guide,
Yeah.
like a manual that is helping you to enter into the next month. So
Yes.
somebody like me, at the beginning of the year, I know, okay, this is what I want to do. So
Mm,
as the month is getting closer to, as the dates for those programs are beginning to get closer, I
yes.
begin to look at the strategies to actually achieve those things. And once I begin to follow it, I just realize that, okay, it's working. And sometimes it's always like when I'm done with one, the next one is already waiting.
Mm,
So it's not as if we don't have good plans, or we don't
mm,
know the right thing to do. So it's the strategies behind it.
that is
And
new.
then, yeah, so another thing is, if you are used to that pattern of life, you
Mm,
will see that over time your body system is already used to it. So there's no
yes.
breakout section, there is no relaxation, there is no
There
time
has to
to
be.
you know, so your head is always up there, like, oh yes, this one I've executed this one, good. What's the next one? So
Wow.
let me just give you a short example. I'm sorry, I'm taking a
Yes,
longer
yes,
time.
yes,
So I know I run a spelling bee competition annually for schools across Lagos State.
yes,
And for this year, even before we were able to carry out that project,
yes.
other plans, like other strategies for the year, were already
In the,
appearing before my eyes.
yes.
So immediately the spelling bee was over. Like the
Mm,
next day, it
mm,
was as if I have left the seat for spelling bee, I am on another seat.
mm.
So like the next day, I was even the one trying to say, ah, bros, calm down now.
Calm down.
Calm
The
down.
calming down.
Calm down. Calm down. You just finished one, calm down. But the thing was like, oh yes, I'm on the next move. Let me move. So
Wow.
as it is, it's like there's no break.
Mm,
So it's not as if the vision is tiring. It's not as if, oh,
yeah,
you are blocked out. No, because there are strategies already laid out. Thank
yeah.
you, ma.
All right, amazing, fantastic. But one thing I would advocate for, I mean, Bernard, I totally agree with you. But one thing I would advocate for is always find a way to reward yourself and even give yourself a break. Okay, so I'm saying that because um, if you are not careful, you will burn out. I've been there. Okay, I'm a leader that I'm very vulnerable, and a lot of my mentees they love me for that. Okay, so okay says in the chat, it's it's half year, and once something planned is not achieved, most of the time people feel bad and they just leave it. I totally resonate with that. So the first thing you actually need to do right now is to reset. And to reset simply means you need to reevaluate what really matters in your life. And just like Antonia has said, we have something called the CAM framework, okay, during the Courses Accountability and Mentoring Program. Now, the interesting thing was that I also, when I designed, because I was just really inspired to design the CAM framework. So when I designed that CAM framework, I said, I know I will not be like an Agbe that would pack people into the, you know what Agberos are doing now? They'll pack people into the bus, but they will
Absolutely.
not put
We
them in the
know.
bus. So I told myself, I said no. So I worked through the camp framework. I became a participant for the with the first cohort. And I discovered a lot of things about myself that I was literally blown away. I mean, if there is more time before we finish today's conversation, I may just show you what my camp framework was like, maybe the first 2 or 3 questions, so that you can have an idea of what I'm saying. So, the first thing you need to do is to reset. So, what exactly am I chasing after? What really matters to me? And that's why people are like, oh, Tututui. I mean, it's like, Tututui, a lot of people tell me, you inspire me a lot, and all of that, and all of that. It's because from time to time, I reevaluate my steps. I reevaluate what is priority to me. Some people, have tended me to be, the truth is that, I mean, you have to be comfortable with not everybody liking you, not everybody agreeing with you, because not everybody, as ice cream, as sweet as ice cream is, not everybody likes ice cream. You'll be shocked, and you're not even ice cream. So the reason is because I do a lot of reevaluation that helps me to refocus. So refocusing has to do with getting brutally clear about your outcome. What exactly do I want this year to be about? And then when you have done your reset and your refocus, you are then able to reignite, which actually has to do with you are able to design actions that help you to create real impact. Now, the number one shift to make your goal stick is number one. The problem is that oftentimes we rely on motivation, which is usually external. Now, motivation is not bad in itself, but the shift is that you need to be able to design a system that works even when motivation fails. Did you get that? A system that works even when motivation fails. And what is that? What is that system? Number one is milestones. You need to have clear deliverables to say, what are my core deliverables? So, for example, for the first half of the year, or I would say for the first quarter, I wanted to become a nationally accredited trainer in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That course cost me about 2 million naira. So when I charge and people say, Dr. Tony, you are expensive, I just laugh. I laugh because the way I invest in myself, I don't need anybody to give me psychological permission to charge. So as I speak to you, I just got enrolled in another accredited program that has to do with coaching and mentoring with the International Coaching Federation, which is going to be costing me about 5 million. And it's a 10 month program where I'm going to be online every single Sunday evening. So when I finish that course and I begin to charge some kind of money, some people will say, hey, I don't care, because when I was paying the school fees, you are not there and you are not seeing me. So these were clear milestones for me, because some of the reasons why I go for this high profile training is also because I want to meet some certain people in some certain rooms, and I won't be able to meet them. So if we say come and invest 120,000 for a whole 3 months, and you're like, Dr. Toyin, and you are even given the opportunity to pay in installments, and you can't stretch to get to that level, I smile. I laugh. One of the things that Antonia and I were discussing this morning was that a lot of educators are not ready to invest in themselves. She was literally almost ranting. And I was just laughing and smiling. And I was like, it's because they don't have an understanding that when you enroll for some courses and some trainings, it's not just about the knowledge. The network of people that you meet in those rooms are way, way even more important sometimes than the knowledge. Don't get me wrong, the knowledge is not totally out of place, but I have seen it work for me, and it has worked all the time. The second thing is momentum, where you have visual progress plus celebration. Now, in the Courses Accountability Mentoring Program, month 1, week 1, you work on the CAM framework. Month 1, week 2, you work on setting your strategic goals for the quarter. Month 1, week 3, you work on your vision board. All right. And okay, maybe should I send my vision board on the free webinar? I don't want to send it. Now, why is that vision board important? Because you don't want to set a goal and just put it in your notebook or somewhere. The more every single day that I wake up when I'm brethren, I see my goals right before my eyes. And then I also take time to celebrate myself. So, for example, this weekend I've already booked for a deep tissue spa. So I'm sure a lot of us that follow me closely are like, how do you mix work with fun? It is very important, because when I look back and I say, I'm going to reward myself with this, it gives me the energy to go ahead to continue to give my goals what it takes. And then mechanism is where you then begin to break down your goals into monthly and then weekly. This is where you have the weekly workflow, and that is how you make execution stick. Now, am I trying to say that everything you have planned out will work out? No. There are days where there are going to be emergencies and there is little or nothing you can do about that. But hey, today is an opportunity for you to be able to do what you couldn't do yesterday. So simply just move it to the next day, because yes, fine, family emergencies, children before ill, especially for those of us that are not are family oriented and all of that. But I mean, that's why we have the opportunity of tomorrow. So that's why that song says, well, anytime I see another breaking of the day, I say thank you. I mean, once another day breaks, another opportunity for you to do what you couldn't do yesterday. So yes, I have some charts here. Hioma says, I also feel it's more difficult for a person who is new to executing visions, distractions, lack of an accountability partner, mentor, financial constraints are culprits. Yes, they are culprits. However, one of the ways in which you can have more clarity and to propel forward is, I tell people that, see, people say follow your passion, follow your passion. Sometimes you need to just go and look for something else that you can sell that is out of your passion for you to get money to be able to fund your passion. And that is what I have also learned over time. So I'm also even like a realtor now, for those people that see my status a lot. And I tell you, all the stress of talking, the money I make from just being able to sell a piece of land is like they used to say in Nigerian parlance, mad. So, Yama, you don't want that to limit you. So Bernard said networking is very key, ma. Absolutely. Antonia says my vision board is my laptop home screen. Amazing. Every time I open my laptop, it jolts me that I must accomplish what I have written down. It propels me every day. So Antonia was also able to create her own vision board during, when she was a campite. I mean, during when she was actively in the camp, because once a campite, always a campite. And you can see that. And like I said, she's been able to leverage and get into some platforms that she would not have ordinarily. Now, let's look at the role of accountability. Now, why is accountability your secret weapon? Sometimes the truth is that discipline fails. I mean, somebody mentioned it, I think it was Felix that said, you get to the point, you say, oh boy, like, I cannot come and kill myself. In fact, even me, you're so commented, I people look forward to. So that I say, now CEO I be, I don't keep person. But guess what? I have people that I'm accountable to. I've shared a lot of times that I have a business mentor who is in charge of almost about 46 branches of Ernst and Young. And to just meet with my business mentor for 1 hour, you pay nothing less than $100. So even on days when me too, I feel like I beg, 60% success the plan, 65%. So I've written my plan and everything. But more, I meet with my business mentor every quarter. See, the moment it is becoming February, hey, March, April, May, June, hey, this June now, I have to meet with. So I just say, oh boy, girl, you have to, because it gives me targets in millions, people of God. So I also have a mentor. Like I always say, if you're a mentor without a mentor, you are a tormentor. If you're a coach without a coach, you are a coach. So I also have my accountability partner in my coach. So in Africa, group-based accountability programs have been found to double success rates for entrepreneurs, NGOs, career professionals, and even individuals. Okay, so accountability is such a powerful weapon. And at camp, you not only are accountable to me as the mentor or the coach, you also have your accountability buddy. That means somebody that the both of you all the know is you can have conversations and you can both strengthening one another. Okay, so let's move on. If I'm making sense, type in the chat MS, 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 MS. Simply means make sense, make sense, make sense. All right. Thank you, Antonia. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming, because this accountability is what a lot of us miss out. Well done, Josephine. Well done. Felix says MSMS. Bernard, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Godwin. Yay. How are you, Godwin? It's good to have you in the room. All right. So let's move on. Now, behind the scenes for level one, let me share some of the things that camp level. So by the way, camp levels are in 4 cycles. The 4th cycle is helping you to just be able to get your farm footing. Thank you, Arietta. Thank you, Aminat. The 1st level is just to be able to help you to get your footings right. By the time you are done with camp level 1, you are clear about a lot of things in your life, professionally, personally, health-wise, physically, even spiritually. You are clear about so many things. And then camp level 2, we then look out for how you can then begin to earn more as a professional and as a business leader. Camp level 3 is we're going to be teaching you about investment opportunities, where you will learn not just to work hard, but your money will begin to work for you and you begin to earn. So like I tell people now that for like 2 years now, I don't spend the money I work for. I spend dividends. That means the fruits that the money I work for yields. So when you enter into supermarkets and you feel that some people just buy some things and you're like, this person must be like a politician or must have been an embezzler. You say, lie, oh, not everybody that is ugly. Let me tell you the truth. But there are secrets to that. Now, one of the things I did that I can never forget was I had to pay like over $500,000 to be a part of a female investment group. Now, that $500,000, they will not give you anything, no cost, no anything, just to be a member of that group. But guess what? What that has done for me is that it has created opportunities for me to know about a lot of investment opportunity as I am investments in real estate, I invest in agricultural products, I invest in palm oil, I invest in so many other things. So if you think that Dr. Toyi is like any other education consultant out there, you're on your own. So I'm just telling you all these secrets to let you know that, guys, life is deeper than what you see. So your reset to execution accelerator, number one of the things we do is that we give you clarity, action, momentum, and progress using the CALP accountability framework. Secondly, there's a weekly planning and real-time accountability within your peer across Africa. Now, I say across Africa because we had people from different parts of Africa and even outside of Africa that were part of the level one cohort one. Then there's a goal tracking system where we have designed to help you follow through. So basically, we are all about helping to research, refocus, reignite, and helping you all go together. Now, I was able to put the statistics together because we had participants from Nigeria, from the United Kingdom, and from Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, so it's not magic. It was all about method and momentum. And so with the statistics, as you can see here, for those of us that are very good with math, follow through was accounted for as about that's about 120 being the total circle. We have about 60 to so about 90%, 90. And then if you're using a 100% to gauge, we have as high as 45, as high as like 60% follow through was done. We had nothing less about 15% of sustainability when it comes to habits. And then with the 90-day blueprint, we had success rates of nothing less than at about 20% thereabout. So that was the kind of results we got from the last cohort that just concluded, because I love data a lot. Now, so that it won't be as though, oh, I came into the call, but I mean, I didn't really, the story, he didn't really give me something to go with. So I'm here to present you with a free media research toolkit. So you may want to screenshot this particular page. Number one, you need to define one executable outcome for the next 1 month or the next quarter or the next half of the year. What is that one thing? That is like a 20% that will give you 80% results. All right. Now, number two, you need to be able to choose your accountability format. Are you looking out for an accountability buddy? A friend that has your values, know quite a lot about you, is forward thinking. Do you want to have that like one person? Do you want to even create like an accountability group? Right. Or do you even want to create like an accountability cohort if you have the energy and the strength? Now, what that does for you is that, like I said, I was a participant in the camp cohort one because when I was designing everything, I was so inspired that I told myself that almost I cannot come like an Agdero. Antonia knows. I do tell them that, see, I am a student in this cohort. Then you want to make sure that you block time weekly to plan and reflect. I do that on my Sundays. So when I come back from church, I sleep for about 1.5 hours, 2 hours. I don't joke with that. And then I sit down to evaluate the week. In fact, I also check my accounts, I check my numbers, personal finances, business finances. I reflect, what did I do well, what didn't I do well, what could I do better? And then, of course, I go ahead to then plan for the new week. Okay. And then, of course, finally, we'll be glad to have you camp one. So we want to apply for you to just be so much on point between July and September. So take your first step today. Execution is the bridge between intention and impact. This is your moment to stop drifting and start deciding. Don't wait for clarity. Act your way into it. Reset what isn't working, refocus your energy, and reignite your fire. Now, the challenge I want you to give you in the next 24 hours, identify one goal that matters most. Take one action, tell one person. That is how your goals build and stick. So, yes, like I said, there's a special offer. Investment for camp is actually 150 for the 3 months. Early bird, if you pay before 25th of June 2025, you are able to pay 120. Force 5 people to pay 50,000 first installment. well, I meant to say within 24 hours. That was a typo. We'll be paying 100,000 naira. Okay, so that is that for us. So yes, we look forward to seeing you in camp. So I'm going to say before what is Monday's date? Uh Somebody should help me in the chat. What is Monday's date? Monday, I think that should be 23rd. Yeah, I have a sound mind. 23rd June. Yeah. So all you need to do is send me a DM for the account number and then I'll share with you. All right. So do we have any questions before? Let me stop sharing before we call it a day. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions before we call it a day? Questions, changes, aha moments, comments. What are your thoughts? Okay, Bernard hand. Bernard, is he a new hand or it was a former hand that was raised? You may want to unmute if it's a new hand.
It should be the former hand.
Oh, okay, so you may want to drop that. Okay. So any question, any aha moment, what was your major takeaway from the conversation? Yeah, my sessions are like that. I mean, they're like, oh, do you mean we are done? Yes. I mean, whatever you can learn within 1 hour. I mean, every other thing you want to learn after 1 hour, especially virtually. People just start cooking beans. Okay. And I don't want you to start cooking beans for me. Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Felix. Say thank you for your time. The session was thought provoking. Absolutely. Okay, what is your key takeaway? Godwin, I'm waiting to read that. What was your key takeaway? And I look forward to seeing us in the camp. So usually we have slots open for just about 10 people per cohort, and we already have like 3 or 4 slots gone. So you want to make sure that you are part of camps. It's something different. Oh yes, one goal at a time. So would you like to see my camp framework? Does anybody like to see at least my own first 2 camp things? If you like to see it, say yes. Godwin is saying yes. Okay, so let me just quickly show us. Let me quickly show us, but I'm just going to show us. I'm just going to give us like a, how will I put it now? Like, how will I put it now? I'm just going to give us like a taster. Bernard say yes. All you people that are saying yes, I hope you are ready to. I hope you are ready to be a part of it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen briefly. So if you don't want to see it, you can go. We are actually done. So this one is just like an extra. So it's not compulsory for you to be here. We are actually done. Thank you, Arietta. So but I just want to give you a tips of the iceberg because I mean it was an experience for me. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen again. Yep. Okay. So it's on the Word document. It's actually so what I usually do is when people are done okay, yes, the screen is off. When people are done with doing their own campaign work, and then I also share. So what I have here, that is the clarity framework for transformational growth. Subtitle your self-reflection and leadership blueprint. Remember what I said that there were 3 steps. The first step is that important that you do what? You reflect so that you can reset. So this is what it looks like. Introduction says, welcome to CLAMP Clarity Framework, a transformational tool designed to help you cultivate leadership and personal growth. This structured reflection framework will empower you to assess your current state, number 1, define your aspiration, and align your actions with your purpose intentionally. Right. So the camp, which has to do with your clarity, alignment, mindset, and progress, offers an easy to remember pathway for your journey. Easy section includes reflective prompts and space for you to chart your vision. So the C talks about defining where you are and what matters most. So, like I said, a lot of us don't even. So we even just set, it's just like you're setting goals and there's no foundation. So your goals is not aligned to your overall vision for life. Then we have the aspect that has to do with alignment, which has to do with bridging the gap between your current and your desired state. So the clarity has to define who you are and what matters most. The A is alignment, which talks about bridging the gap between your current and your desired state. And then your M has to do with your mindset, which has to do with cultivating empowering beliefs and resilience. And then the P has to do with your progress. How do you measure success and reflect on your growth? So, and then of course we have the final total. So like I said, I sat down to answer it. So I'm going to just share the C and the A with you. So clarity, I had to define where I am and what matters most. So I said, concerning my work, I'm currently the visionary founder of my organization, managing a team that unlocks human potential and drives sustainable growth for individuals, organizations, communities, and nations in Africa. I believe I'm making progress, but maintaining a balance between my professional responsibility and personal commitments is quite challenging. Personal life. On a personal note, I'm in a phase of introspection, seeking greater work-life balance and deeper life fulfillment and significance within and outside of my work. So now you begin to see that one of the things that this particular aspect helped me to realize is that I don't necessarily have to be so tied to my work before I find fulfillment and significance. And then there's part of the leadership role. I'm confident in my leadership skills, my desire to develop. I can see some terms of my desire to develop better ways to inspire and engage my team while creating a more inclusive work culture through strategic partnerships. So if you notice lately, I've been so big on partnerships. So you see me partner with NGOs, you see me partner with corporate organizations, you see me begin to break some mold. I'm not limited to just the educational sector, and that's just the truth. With individuals, organizers that share what similar and relevant core values with me. Can you see? And then what I did was I went ahead to mention my core values and why they are so important to me. So you can see that there's a lot of introspection. And with that, I was able to come up with my vision statement, which simply is to live and lead with purpose, empowering individuals, which I'm doing right now, transforming organization, communities, and nations for sustainable growth while maintaining balance, well-being. Can you see this? Can you see this? Fun. So it was when I did this introspection in January that fun became a critical and essential part of what I do. And then, of course, growth in all aspects of my life. So I think I've given us enough. So this is where my alignment came in. I was able to identify, okay, I need to work around my time and energy management, work and life balance, integration, and then team engagement. And then I was able to come up with my action plans and, of course, my time audit and all of that. So you can see the CAMP framework for myself is, can you see how many pages I've had to work on this? So yes, this is one of the most important. In fact, it's usually the first thing that we use to welcome you. So you are then able to work on yours, design yours, so that every goals you begin to set going forward is a lot more solid and a lot more intensive. So thank you everyone for joining. And at this point, I want to say a very big thank you for spending your Saturday evening with me. We are 6 minutes past the time. And I just want to say a very big thank you once again. So there is a whole lot more. It's important that you don't just set goals and miss, but you want to set the right goals. So thank you everyone for being here. And for those that are watching the replay, please drop a comment section how it's going to work. So thank you so much. And that's all now.